Good afternoon, welcome back to my 3 followers. I always jokingly say about the 3 followers just because this is just a beginning journey. I mean, on the video side of things, I think I started my YouTube channel a couple months ago, and it's an icebreaker just to get yourself comfortable talking in front of a video, and then just really practicing and rehearsing on using it. So thought about editing things and what have you, but I did watch back, and I thought there's some good morsels in advice of what I've shared. And until I get a little bit more comfortable talking in front of this, then I'll go back and potentially do some editing so it's a little bit better flow. The main reason why I created the vlog, I guess the video blogging, is because sometimes it's just a little quicker and faster to do it on a video than it is to write. If you hear the noise in the background, that's my dog Buddy, and he's just playing with his rope. So when he's not protecting me, just had a shower because my sister is coming down from Edmonton to spend a couple of days with me, so I'm really excited about that. Didn't want to scare her when I went to pick her up, and be looking how I was kind of feeling at the time. I'm feeling better. I'm certainly not sniffling quite like I was, and so let's get started. This time what I did was I actually wrote some names. So in this great notepad that my husband bought for me, which I always think our anniversary went by and I didn't get him didn't really get anything and do anything. I mean, it's life. That's what happens when you're both working, and just the companionship is there. So I won't get onto that tangent. That's for my meanderings blog. That's more about family, life, what have you. Optioneer JM is really about talking about sales, business, leadership, and social media. And so on the cusp of this social media revolution, using Bernie Sanders' words, is video blogging. And one of the things that I always kept to myself in life is don't knock something until you've tried it. And really, that's how social media started for me in 2010. Sound effects of my dog protecting me. Oh, Buddy, come here, say hello. He's not thinking. You're not thinking you're part of the attention. Okay, he just comes to let me know he's protecting me. Okay, you settle down, okay? You settle down, yes. Okay, get down. Obedience that he is. Garbage day, so quite frankly, somebody's probably walking their dog, and he doesn't settle down. I'll have to put him in his kennel where he can behave. So there's where editing's going to come in handy. Have decided that while I blog, I put my iTunes music in the background, and this one is a selection of music, and I'm pretty sure it's from my own selection that iTunes has put together. So if you go into iTunes and the iTunes page and you log on, it'll have the genius recommendations, but now they have a flag that's called For You. So it's just a compilation of all of your music, or what they believe is your favorite music. So playing on the handy dandy Marshall Bluetooth speaker. Handy that it is Marshall. Unfortunately, we're unrelated to the Marshall family that we know of anyways. They haven't sent us any big fat checks lately. If I'd got that big fat check, big fat check, that would mean I would be doing this. I'd be doing this every day. Yeah, I'd be writing and blogging and trying to help people. So back, see, going off on a tangent here, so I apologize for that. So yesterday when I was talking about on my blog yesterday, I started by talking about mentorship and who is kind of the mentoring, and I alluded to some of the first key principles of sales when you're starting out, and I'll just reiterate that, and that's number one. Make an appointment with the person that you want to see, and I'm going to sidebar these as we go along. Be respectful of their time and be prepared. So you don't make an appointment. I mean, unless, I will tell you this. If you're meeting with an administrator that is what we would call a see more information, see more pricing, see more comparisons, they have all kinds of time to go for coffee, have lunch, and just tell you what they think they know about their organization, their decision making, and not to say that these people cannot be an influence. They're usually like a sideline cheerleader. And if I was to write a book about sales, I would probably call that, your cheerleader, because you need a cheerleader at every account, and they're going to give you kind of the ins and outs, right? But I've often blogged about, and I learned the very hardest way, is you want to meet with as high up in the organization as possible. Absolutely the toughest. But I can tell you, after you've spent 4 or 6 meetings with your cheerleader and gotten no further along, sometimes the contract was signed, or the business or the services or the purchases of whether it's software, devices, what have you, could be done while you're so busy talking to this cheerleader. You've got to talk to the key decision maker, and we'll just call that the Don, as in D-O-N. That's a Spanish reference for head of household, I believe, and also maybe not as great a reference, but anyways, so get in front of the decision maker. It seems like it takes a long time to do so, and sometimes it can take much longer, but I just have to say to you that once you do, you'll just, when you do and you have a conversation based on your preparation and based on your research and understanding of that, the Don is going to be very receptive to meeting with you. And again, you're going to have a purpose of that, and so forth. So from a sales perspective, that's the tip of the day. Yesterday was schedule an appointment, be prepared, be on time, and be respectful of their time. Today's is really work hard at getting in front of the decision maker or the Don. Don't waste your time with the cheerleader. They're the looky-loos, they're the price quoters, and so many salespeople think, and they tell their boss, oh, you know, they're gonna buy here, they're gonna buy there, they're gonna do all that. But the salespeople have not asked that cheerleader, well, whose decision is it? And if you've spent too much time with the cheerleader, you might as well kiss that account. The likelihood of penetrating that account much further, because you have now become buddies with the cheerleader, and you've just created a nightmare by trying to go over their heads. So, key point today on the sales side. So, on a personal side, and again, maybe the purpose of this video blogging is, keeping in mind that, when I graduated from college, the NEB had just come out in Canada, and if anybody knows what that was a huge royalty that the oil companies had to pay. And again, I don't know all the facts. I don't profess to know all the facts. And I think that's when Alberta, that's the province that I live in, and the city I live in is Calgary, the renounced hometown of Ted Cruz, who's being fleeced now. Anyway, bad karma, Ted. So when I really started my sales career, it really was right after that, people that were graduating, that had jobs, had those jobs revoked, because there was that sort of, and that's so typical of the oil industry specific. I can't speak to others, just in Calgary, in Alberta, if the oil industry sneezes, the rest of the province catches a cold. And having gone through it a few times, some more severe than others, money's not flowing. All you hear is cutbacks, layoffs, people losing jobs. And I go, how the heck do you get up in the morning and be motivated if you have this cloud over your head? So I'm going to talk today about, continue on with, on the mentorship vein, but I've got a list of people here in my career and what I took from them and what I learned from them. Some were really good bosses, and some were not that great, and some were more on the sidelines. So I'm going to skip right into, the first job that I had that I really wanted and I spoke to yesterday was on the magazine business. I mean, I just absolutely was all that so proud to work for a magazine, and it was about fashion and events and what have you. And maybe I get a little bit of that sprinkling in what I do on social media from that experience, probably. Live well, laughed often, and love much. That's my coffee mug today, so join me for a coffee. Maybe this is a coffee with Jeannette. I'm keeping my brand the same, Jeannette, Optioneer JM. And you, my 3 followers, know that by now. So I better keep you with me, or else my vlogging career is going to be very short-lived. The first manager I really bring to talk about, her name was Donna, and she was the sales manager in the magazine. And I alluded to before, there was really no training. Our training consisted of being told, head out the door, and just go and make cold calls. And really, for somebody who had never been trained in sales, never did anything, and that fear people say is about cold calling, just get over it. And so that's what Donna did. Was she was like the mother bird, and tough love, but she wasn't a tough person whatsoever. She was really poised and classy, and she knew her craft, which was selling advertising. She led by example. So you didn't. It wasn't somebody in a high horse that was, out the door while I just do my administrative work and wait for you to come back and ask me questions or what have you and make myself look busy. She had her own clients, and I was mesmerized how she could get this fairly substantial advertiser and set up this huge photo shoot, and it was in a spectacular location in Calgary, just outside our arts, and the lighting and the photography. I still remember the image of that ad. Still remains embedded in my mind. But what that demonstrated to me was that doesn't come automatically. She probably started out like she was telling me, just get out there, cold call on people. So I wasn't a shy person. I was able to go and talk to people, and I guess the benefit I had was I could deliver free magazines to people, and that would generate a conversation, and typically, I think at that time we were selling like a couple of page spread for I think it was like it was for the fall. In magazines, you make all your money probably in the fall, like October, November, December. Because you have fall fashion is really big, and then it rolls into Christmas gift giving. So I would have hired, and you're working 2 months in advance. So here you are out in beautiful sunshine and strolling dry sidewalks and going into people's stores and shops and offices, and it's sunny outside, and you're bringing them the recent issue, and you're basically just advising them that you're putting together a spread for the I'm gonna say for the holiday issue. I'm gonna think it was November. Details, Jeannette, doesn't matter. So that was what Donna taught me, and I remember thinking to myself, and then she would sometimes, and that's what all managers should do, by the way, she would come on calls with me and observe. See, and I don't really remember the feedback per se. I just remember following along, and she would take the call, and I would go, "Ooh, she is just so smooth." And that's what I aspired to be. I aspired to be smooth. So, and smoothness, looking back, probably what was going through my 20-year-old head was very smooth opening. People immediately were receptive to speak into her based on her tone and her poise, and she had a sense of confidence and authority there. Not authoritarian by any means, but just that confidence and competence exuded from her. And it was more, I'm here to inform you. and you sort of see people clear off the counter and then start to ask the questions. Okay, what is it about? Who all's going in? The club, and how often are they going in? So Donna was my first in the local magazine business, and we were up against Western Living at the time. Very, very, very much a leadership by example. Didn't, I'm not sure she got paid any more or anything. She just, her name appeared different on the masthead. The two Donnas. Now, the second Donna I actually went and met with just on Friday. I alluded to that. And I was hired just after my son was born. And he had been born with some health concerns where he was going to have surgery when he was at a year old. So here I was thinking, I'm just going to go have this baby and I'm going to come back and continue business as usual. And no offense, but it's always the image of the women in the rice paddies who, they work, they have the baby goes in the pouch on the back, and they continue working. And that was my mentality. And that's, I was pretty driven and career oriented. And when Kyle came along, that was, the joke was on me because priorities changed, and I knew I couldn't work full-time and give the commitment to him that was needed. So fortunately for me, I had, again, we talked about reputation. Keep a good, reputation. Don't burn any bridges. I did that. I'll talk about that later on. So this Donna, we'll call her Museum Donna, her and I worked together for almost 8 years, and she was a champion. And she taught me gratitude. I don't think there's anybody that I have worked, scanning through my list here, and she was really the gratitude manager. I mean, it just always seemed that no matter what I did, she appreciated it. It always seemed like every pinnacle with regards to the ads or the ad count or the revenue, she was really, really grateful. To put things into context, I mean, when you look at a magazine, you look how thick it is or how wafer thin it might be. You don't even have to open it, and you'll know that it's a direct relation to the revenue and the advertising. So under that gratitude, it made me want to earn it. Like, again, taking for granted and what have you. At that point, I'd already had my son. I was ready to go back to work. I was really appreciative of having the opportunity to work. Contract, so it was not full-time, but it wasn't part-time. I set the hours and set up a home office, and got to the point where my calls to customers and meetings or what have you were done and arranged as play dates over the years. So it's just like I evolved and did this. Now, can everybody do that? No, but Do you have a niche in which you're good at? Again, I wouldn't have pictured this for me. The then very well known and distinguished food critic and author and CBC food critic, and John Gilchrist was managing the magazine, and he was a good manager because he really tried to get the talent pulled together and then just let the magic happen. And don't ever remember this, micromanagement or hands-on or anything like that. And again, maybe I was naive. I don't think I was naive. I think I would have felt the creativity being clouded or crowded if you didn't have that style. So the predominance of the magazine really was Donna was in charge of all of the writing as editor, and was an emerging writer herself. A young gal that had gone to the Alberta College of Art and graphic design, was really talented. I would say production values. You don't hear that term as often, but it just means that the layout, the crispness, the polish, how the magazines can come in and just seem to flow with the overall magazine. And so again, Donna and Kathy taught me that, and trying to use now when I'm trying to design my own blog pages or starting to work on a website. I'm not always just pretty perfectionistic too, but don't have that talent that Kathy had, and that. But Donna, she led a team, so not surprising. Donna is the CEO of a very fine organization here in Calgary. It's called the Glenbow Museum, and in those budding days of my sales, I wasn't a rookie, because I had already had worked on Calgary magazine and then Western Living magazine, so I wasn't a rookie, but I was a rookie entrepreneur, self-employment, what have you. I first made mistakes when the words were on the street that there was a person for hire that could sell advertising into publications and would work straight commissions. So at that time I was in demand, and that was one career mistake. Again, I think that falls on often is I couldn't say no. So I was doing a magazine for Decidedly Jazz Dance Works. I was doing the Glenbow magazine. The theater groups wanted me to do their programs, and then, oh my gosh, it evolved from that. I had the Liberal Party calling me, the president of the Liberal Party. They were having a convention in Calgary. Would I take care of the magazine? I think Katz was circulating and coming into the Jubilee, and would I be interested in that? And I was juggling deadlines, and that was my first really valuable lesson, is the energy and the time and the passion to do a good job wasn't there, because I divided myself way too thin. So again, and nobody was telling me, and I wasn't making like tons of money. Don't kid about it. And there was a lot of perks. I got to go to lots of free theater and situations like that. Also, it was perfect for a 20-year-old. Because I was all that and a bag of chip, but really I did come to that self-evaluation and realization that I was I was doing a lot of disservice, not just to myself, but to Donna and the museum primarily, and these other organizations that wanted to hire me, doing a disservice because I was spread way too thin. So that's another lesson, is just get a focus and understand what that focus is, and be prepared to kind of cut off the strays that are distracting you from doing a good job. And again, Donna, she would never tell me to do any of this. She would never kind of coach me. It was always gratitude. Oh, thank you so much. And I mean, when I came in and I was bringing in advertisements, and they did some renovations, and we were doing special magazines, and then it was strategizing on how do we get some of the core corporate sponsors into advertising into the magazine, because they were already donating. And so I could ask Donna for what I perceived instinctively, which turned out to be accurate, for specific information. And it was like, her attitude was, well, how can I help you? And then gratitude. And I just, that was the key, and when I met with her on Friday, we joked, it had been like 20 years later. She would have said that at some point, at least once during our reminiscing, and just, I wanted to know, how she arrived at that position and how it was going as a CEO, and not being new to talking to, wouldn't have been the first CEO I've ever talked to, but it was all about, her message was continuously about giving. And I'm sure on more than one occasion during that, she would be saying, how can I help you, Jeannette? So it's a good thing to have. I hope that if you're a young millennia guy or girl, you can find somebody like Donna, Magazine Donna, and then Museum Donna. I mean, they're both Donnas, and they both different roles, but they had some of the similar quality, and that was just demonstrated polish. And I'm not saying killer, New York fashion, just very always polished and not dowdy or kind of sloppy anyways. In and around that time, actually, I will say, and conjure the image of Cruella de Vil. So when Magazine Donna decided at one point that she was going to go to Vancouver and expand her career there, so they brought in a, we'll call her Cruella, manager, who was, I'm 5 feet, and this woman was well over 6 feet. See, even Buddy doesn't like her. And it was force, it was intimidation, it was grab, it was take, regardless of the accounts and regardless of my relationship in the magazine. Oh, these are my clients. Hi, and she came from radio. So, maybe I would have different thoughts, because radio in this city, advertising dollars are a lot more competitive. I think advertising dollars are competitive anywhere, but again, just recognizing that this was in the mid 80s, and spending money wasn't an option. So that's where, again, I talk about the paradigms from the 80s to what a lot of the millenniums are going through right now in 2016, in the last few years. Money's not flowing. You might have a degree or a diploma from a college, and you just can't seem to find a job. Jumping all over the place, I realize, but this is an important thought. I took the job, and it was straight commission. And could I do that today? Possibly, but I just wouldn't want to. But that's the best way. Sometimes you just gotta put yourself up to the challenge and see if you can do it. Now, I'm not suggesting that in a short economy everybody should just go into sales. I'm just saying that those that are have a leaning towards that, don't let the downturn in the economy and things like that turn you down, because in some ways that's when organizations are leaning on their salespeople more, and sometimes that's when they're expanding their sales force more. How they go about it is really what's critical in your evaluation, and how they treat the people. So I gave you two really strong, stellar examples of Magazine Donna and Museum Donna, and then touched in between was Cruella. And oh my gosh, if she could crush me and my ego and my confidence and everything, she was really all about it. And so thankfully, I left and became a mom, and because of the way life's path leads you and you don't always know what's in store, I made the decision I wasn't going to go back working full time, but I didn't want to just not work. So I was really, really lucky keeping a clean reputation and embarking on a job that fit into my schedule, and I could do a lot more learning. So this has been 38 minutes so far, and I have only gone through the first three names on my list, but that's okay, because that means there'll be more to blog about later. As you leave me today, I thank you all, three followers. Probably maybe one or two only had time to watch this, and the other one will come back later. Leave a comment. Let me know. Let me know if there's anything more specific that you want me to talk about, because I will just go on about my learnings and journey, and in the sales, and then eventually how I because ultimately it's coming along, and the path is going to lead to social media. And social media is really all about selling yourself, and some of us are better at it than others. There's some criteria, there's some characteristics that people might want to consider as I do my own reflection on what I could be doing, not just telling people, but what can I be doing to make my goals come true as I share the goals and share my knowledge with you. So today the word is gratitude. Thank you.